it doesn't always take two to tango.
Nope.
Or does it? Well, not when the two are one flesh. Hi, I'm Ken.
And I'm Chesca.
And welcome to KC
KC
Talks. And on this first episode, we're talking about the nuts and the bolts of our marriage. That's right. Okay. Just want to put a little bit something there, you know why. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to pass it over. You're going to start us off. Was it love at first sight?
Well, it depends on what the first sight
was. Yes.
It depends on what the first sight was. My first sight was different from your first sight.
That's right.
I think your first sight is a year
before
mine.
Okay, no, I think a few months. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a few months. So.
Do you want to tell us what your first?
Yeah, my first sight was like a.
Was it love at first sight?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't at first sight because, man, I was in the spirit. I was focusing on God.
But you saw me.
Yeah, I saw you.
And you wanted to be my space.
Yeah, I wanted to be in your space. Yeah, I wanted to be in your space. Yeah, because all my friends knew you because they knew you from way back when. So yeah, I wanted to be in your space. But yeah, by that time I was focused on only.
Nah, that's not true. Because you noticed me and you were so desperate to have me as a friend, and I wasn't even looking.
Yes.
Like I didn't see it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't even remember seeing it.
Yeah. And then with some by force French classes when I wasn't even a French student, isn't it?
No, that's too far. But I think I would say it was love at first sight for me.
Was it?
Not the kind of love like I thought we're gonna get married or we're gonna go out, but when I saw you the first time, I was like, oh. Now, this sounds silly, but guys, forgive me, all you Krife guys out there, all you born again gentlemen out there, forgive me for this, but I had this.
It's gonna be big then.
I had this silly notion that for a man or for a guy to follow after God or to love God the way you did, that person must be hungry. Sorry, that's why I apologize first. That person must be hungry or ugly. Either you're poor and like you have no choice, but that was a very bad mentality. But that was growing up, that's what I thought. That if you see a guy who is really following after God and very serious, especially the way you and Abraham Dems did, that wasn't my idea, I thought. Okay. So that's what I
fine, boy.
Then I saw you, and it was like, gosh, damn, who is this fine guy?
I'm shy.
And you were so devoted to the things of God. It was EY camp, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then I saw you and AB singing, and my goodness, you are handsome. And you serve God the way you were serving. I thought, okay, this one is different. He's handsome, so he's not my idea.
And I wasn't hungry, guys.
And you were not hungry at all, like some
by God's grace.
Boy, Dada ba, Mama Baby. So I was like, oh damn, this guy is fine. But it wasn't fine as in fine, I want to marry him. But that made me want to know you. Okay. That made me like.
Yeah, so it still wasn't love at first sight, but
Yeah. You came in my space for me at the time. Okay. So yeah. It wasn't love at first sight.
So what attracted us to each other?
You tell us first. What attracted me to you?
Yeah. So what attracted, and then the role that's played in our marriage now. Okay, so for you, I saw a strong, independent woman. Okay, when we became friends, I got to know that side of you. You were industrious. You were selling things to get through school and stuff like that. You had a passion and devotion. It's like you were a go-getter. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew what you were about, and that was I could say that you were very decisive in the things that you pursued, and passionate about it too. And you're caring and thoughtful. To be honest, you are very thoughtful. What they will say, like, if you're Nyansa, you know, like, yeah, you really had that. And of course, you were so fine, man. And you had kissable lips. Oh my gosh. All right, okay, but by that time, I was in the spirit,
you
guys.
You just said you were in the spirit.
Yeah, I was
so
in the spirit.
You say I had kissable lips.
Yeah, but you did, man. You did. You had kissable lips.
So you were not really in the spirit.
And you put a black pencil around to mark it and to make sure that, you know, it was showing, you know.
I defined it.
You defined it. Yeah. So you're fine too, man. And and you just had so much intelligence and wisdom. I think that's what attracted me. And of course, you had an amazing voice. You minister, and my God, I could just stay in your presence all day. You know. So.
All for me. Glory to God and the fans for me. All right. So, what attracted you to me, first and foremost, was your love for God. As I said, you were very passionate about things of God. And not just passionate, and it wasn't vague. Like, you could tell it was solid, it was heavy. You were 100% in it, you know. And I thought, man, a guy like that, because growing up, I'd been told, or I'd been taught that if the man is after God's heart, it will be easier because should there be a problem, you can always submit the man to God and God would speak to the heart. So your devotion, your dedication to the things of God was one of the things that really was it for me, you know. And then another thing that attracted you to me was how present you were. And you still are very, very, very present. Like, when you were with me, it was me. You know, at the time, I didn't know what love language was. But now that I know what my love language is, I now know why that was very important to me. You were very present. I mean, you had a way of looking at me.
Am I still doing it?
Oh, you still do it, and it's even though we've been married for 16 years, like, it's still, like, I get shy.
And then I come closer, I guess.
I feel very shy when you do it. Like, it's like you're looking into me, your eyes are
your soul.
So, that was, you were present. You know, you were present when I'm in trouble. You were present. And again, present is not being there. Even if those times there were no mobile phones, but you will be present in what's going on. You know what's going on with me. You know where I am. And I'll give an example of a time that I think that was it for my mom especially. You went abroad and we had just finished secondary school, finished our French school as well. And I think we had written the university entrance examination. Yeah. So you went to UK and I was just working to while away time. And Mom said you came home and you asked of me and Mom said I'd gone to work. And I wasn't there, but my mom told me that your countenance changed. You looked very down all of a sudden, just at the sound of I'd gone to work. And you did ask her, is she not going back to school?
Yeah. It's because of
and
go back
what
to
my mom told me was, if any part of her mind or her brain or her decision-making process was that I wasn't going back to school, your countenance was enough to wake her up. And for her, that was when she knew you were for me.
Really?
Yes.
Because my mind wasn't there.
But she never told me till, it was early days. She never told me till very late, just when we were about to get married, which was about 10, 15 years afterwards. So that's how present you are. You're present in my problems, present in my joy, present in my challenge. You are present. I remember when you were in UK, I mean, the number of phone cards... and the number of times you had to call me every day. It was like you were with me.
There was no WhatsApp. You buy a phone card. Yeah.
Tell you. And I didn't appreciate it as much as I came on holiday the first time. I realized, oh my goodness, buying these cards, calling cards were no joke. So that's one of the things. You were present. And the other thing that was, it sounds silly, but that attracted you to me was how laid back you were. You know, because I thought the kind of strong person I was, the kind of strong woman I was, I needed a man who was stronger. I needed a man who'd tell me what to do, a man who'd control me. But come on, if that happened, I wouldn't have stayed even for a week, because now knowing who I am, I don't do as I'm told. And it's like you had the strength of getting me to do what I have to do without you commanding me.
Have
without
my
you
ways.
controlling me.
Have my ways.
Without you get me to do what I have to do without you having to push. I don't know if push is the word, but coming on with full force like the typical African man that we know, or some of our African men that we know. So
it's like a quiet storm.
Yeah, and you were quite slow about things and laid back and chilled, like some big teddy bear. You could cuddle this guy. And you still are. You still are very, very cuddly, very laid back, very, not that we were cuddling at the time, but in my imaginations and fantasies, I was like, this guy will be...
things that were yet to happen.
I thought this guy would be cool to cuddle, you know, because I'm a hugger anyway, so it was always nice to imagine that the guy is quite... You were not the typical African man, which was beautiful. So that attracted me. But to talk about what you said, about how it's impacted
on our marriage, how
the
it's
impact
impacted,
on our marriage. So what would you say?
Yeah,
it's...
I would say that, you know, your go-getter kind of spirit, drive,
it went overboard.
It went overboard sometimes. And it's like, you don't even want to wait for me to do stuff, you know.
Yeah.
When I want you to rest in my arms and, you know, kind of like, you know, draw close, chill, you know, that kind of thing. And it's like I want you to share what's going on with you. You're kind of like always strong. You want to...
I want to deal
with it by yourself. You know, you want to handle it by yourself. Like, I was like, no. We're married now, so you need to offload. You don't have to carry everything by yourself. So I wanted that thing whereby you're sharing things with me. I felt like you were still in your singleness.
Yes,
you know.
Yes, that's the right word. Yeah.
I mean, another thing I didn't mention was your purity. Like, so your purity, kind of like you know, things like, you know, no sex before marriage or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Your love for God, you know, it was very strong. So with that, for example, when we still got married, even when
you're not going to say what I think you're going to say.
Yeah, even when you're lying in the middle of the night and I want to touch you, I start holding you and stuff like that, you will hit my hands. And because you feel you're so single.
Honey, if you say I'll hit your hand, it's like...
No, you remove my hands.
No, it's because I was asleep.
Yeah.
And in my sleep, like, you're right to say that I remained in singleness for a long time.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was still single, and I was thinking, what is this man touching me?
Yes, because you're married, man.
No, because once I'm deeply asleep, it doesn't register that I'm married.
Yeah, but when we sleep, that's when things happen too, you know. So you should register that.
So the next thing I knew, some hand is somewhere like, what are you doing?
I said, Abba, we are married.
Yes, and then when I woke up from the sleep, I was like, oh, sorry, you know, because I thought, like, somebody is taking advantage of you know, so I slapped your hand,
So in summary, it's more about, like, you still had that single mentality when we
which really affected our marriage a lot, because you would think that usually they say that it's the men that it takes time for them to acknowledge they are married, but in our marriage it was me.
you,
It was me. I did everything independently. I can solve my own problems. I can sort myself out. But then again, honey,
it wasn't about me solving your problems for you. For me, it was more about sharing in the journey to get there. Sharing that.
But I think this is important for us to talk about, because I think looking back, that was also down to my upbringing. I was the firstborn child. And I went to the boarding school when I was 7, 8, and very independent. And that expectation was also placed on me.
Okay.
I took care of everybody except myself. And I'd grown up with it. So, to be honest, you were the first man, I would say, is taking care of me. And I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So I think in marriage, people have to also reflect on the background of the person and make room, which, kudos to you. You made room, like your patience to get me round, realizing that we are a couple, we are together, we are one flesh. Which, as a matter of fact, that just happened. We've been married for 16 years, but I can tell you, 10 years of our marriage, I was living like a single person.
Yeah.
I always had to actively remind myself that we were married and we needed to share.
And about that kissable lips, not knowing, I don't know whether it's because of the asthma that you later had, but you can't, when we're kissing, then you run out of breath.
You're not being nice.
So, I have to be real.
I know we said Ken and Candid, but the things...
No, the same with the kissable lips. It was an attraction too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit of it, and then you can't kiss for a long time, and then you have to pause.
No,
you take
now
a deep
you're
breath.
embarrassing me on social media that your wife is not a good kisser.
No, you're a good kisser. It's not that you stop for a long time. You need to breathe.
Well, I ran out of breath.
You run out of breath
fault.
easily. Yes, you're out of breath.
Okay.
So it's not like in the movies, when you...
No, I think those ones are fake.
Yeah,
guys, if anybody kisses for like 5 minutes, please let us know, and I could take some lessons from it. Yeah. But I ran out of breath.
Yeah,
with long kisses.
With long kisses. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the impact it
So
had.
it has to be short
marriage.
and intense.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you've got that right, haven't Yeah. Okay, so yes, on your part, my level of independence, which was an attraction, actually ended up being a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And on my part, I think the impact, what attracted you to me in the reality or in the context of marriage, how it happened and the effect it was on our marriage was that, let's say, I said, I saw you to be very spiritual, very dedicated to the things of God. So in my mind, as a Ghanaian girl who's been raised up, the man is the priest of the house. So I thought that it meant that the man would wake up at dawn, kaboing, tongues here and there. But here is this fine gentleman. I mean, he's as gentle with God as he is with man. We wake up in the morning. That is, if you have to wake up at dawn, it's like your prayers are cool, gentle. Especially when they are prayers like, I need that. We pull down, we bind. And you were like, cool, gentle. And I think this guy is derailing the progress of the prayer.
It's not fluid.
So I remember always thinking, no, you're not being spiritual enough. Like, what's happening? Until I came to the understanding of what prayer and the relationship of God really was. And the surprising thing, which it's coming in one of my blogs or vlogs or videos or whatever, I'd explain my context of prayer, where I ended up feeling jealous about you as far as God is concerned, because these prayers that you are praying gentle, God answers. Then me, I'll kabo and I'll clap my hands and I'll fast and all of those things, and God will not even mind me. And so feel sorry for me. So yeah,
God
so that's
help you.
where I got it wrong. I defined spiritual acrobatics
Okay.
as spirituality. So that affected us as well.
Yeah, well, also I just see him. He's my father. When I go to my father, I just speak to him.
Yeah.
From the heart. I don't
Yeah.
repeat words.
Yeah, you always said that you don't repeat words because his ears are not too short.
They cannot hear.
Yeah, are not shut, and his arms are not too short.
Shouldn't be like
to
the
rescue
pagans who
us.
bubble words over
Yeah.
and over. Yeah.
So I learned from that as well. And then in terms of you being present, which was one of the things that attracted me. Now, when we got married, I realized your being present actually means that you are really, really present, like present.
In your face.
And sometimes I need my space. You know it. But now I know that it's not my space, it's our space. But for a long time, I was like, can you let me breathe? You know, you are the type when I wake up in the morning and I've got a lot on my mind and you want to cuddle me, you just want to hold me, and I'm thinking, I just want to breathe. Please don't hold me. You know, that kind of thing. And I felt I was suffocating. And sometimes it's like you just want to snatch me out of the pain I'm in, you know, and I felt that was too much for me. But now I realize that I just didn't even know how to receive love. You know, you had so much love to give. And I was so covering up a lot that anything that makes me have to depend on somebody, nah, that's not happening. You know? So that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
And then in terms of laid backwardness,
just
be laid back. Jesus, that's been one of our biggest problems. Well, let me say that was, because now it's not a problem. Not that you have changed, but we've learned to juggle it. And it was good for me because then because I was a go-getter. What I want, I get. If I want to buy a car tomorrow, I'll buy a car tomorrow. And I did everything quick, fast. I don't think through things. Even if I think ahead. I think about things.
But the detail
is left out, and I don't care what the consequences are. I want a car, I'm buying a car. I want a house, I'm buying a house. So that was the kind of person. Everything was a rush. Everything was not considering other things. So when we got married, now that was difficult for me. But I realized now, after 16 years, that I needed that to slow me down. So now I get to enjoy the process of the journey God is taking me through. Because you can testify that most of the problems I went through repeated themselves. I was like going in circles with life's challenges. And that was just because I was not learning the lessons that I needed to learn from it. I had my own way and I was set in my ways. Like, no, let me just say it. But sometimes I'm like a spoiled child, you know. I want this and I want it now, you know. So having you kind of being laid back kind of made me learn to wait and say no. And your no is very hurting. You are like the expert of of saying no. Sometimes you even say no.
I say yes.
No, that's just your daughter who can get you wrapped under her fingers, her little finger.
Daddy's girl.
Yes, because she's a daddy's girl. But your no is no. Like, you literally say no without a reason. And sometimes I have to ask you, I have to say, why did you say no? And you're like, I don't know. I just don't want to. So I was like, you can't say you don't want to. So, yeah.
And in terms of, being laid back, some of the things that you did that's helped me is like, it's made me see that sometimes I don't, if everything's stripped away, okay, and there's something that needs to be done, sometimes I'm like, oh, this person can help me, or this person can help me. But you are like, imagine this person is not there. Yeah. And imagine that person is not there. Imagine you can't go and ask this. Yeah. What will we do? you know, that has really, really helped me, you know, in terms of that.
Yeah.
So, being able to have pull back and think through things, and say that no, I can't just sit back and let this happen. I have to push myself, and I need to kind of like get this done without anybody's help. Or you know, that has made me help me to be able to be you know, push through certain difficulties that have come our way. Yeah.
I mean, by all means, if we need help, we would have to ask for help. But
it shouldn't be the first thing. You
Yes,
should first
yes.
look to God, look to yourself, look to each other first, and then get it done. And if outside help is needed, you know.
yeah.
So
That's been our journey, guys.
that's right.
I hope this is blessing someone. It's just a conversation we're having and a
Yeah.
few of our examples, but I just hope somebody is being blessed by these things that we're talking about.
Okay.
So, still on the topic of the nuts and bolts of our marriage, this is where we get to the crust of it. Are we the same? Are we alike? Or are we very different?
Absolutely the latter.
Different.
But I like in some ways, but most of the time we are very different. But now that when we compromise in certain things, we begin to look like each other after a while in certain things. Yeah.
So, what would you say are some of the ways we are different?
Number one thing, because you plan long term, you know, a long term planner. You know what you want to do in, you know, 3 years, 5 years, whatever. We're going for a trip in months. You're packed already. You've already written down the things you're going to buy. You've made a list of the toothbrush and the toothpaste and everything that's gonna go. The clothes you're gonna wear, what you wear for.
Well, someone has got to do that.
For the airport, what you wear when you arrive, what you wear
And-
the next day, all of that you just like, you know. But you like kind of like go with the flow, you know, not all the time, but like
Go with the flow.
in
No,
terms
you
of
don't
like-
go with the flow. You are last minute.
Because I think I have more time, isn't it? Yeah, the rush, you know, the adrenaline, you know, yeah, it kind of like pushes me to be creative, you know. So but I'm also learning some of those things to put things. To be honest, my dad was more like that, like you actually,
Like me.
Yeah,
Always
he's traveling,
on time.
he's planning, you know, things
So
ahead.
where did you learn that from? Because I know
I have no idea.
Well,
so
that's how different we are. And
Yeah.
I mean, on a more serious note, it's been a problem in our marriage most of the times because the thing is, even when I'm planning ahead, you're telling me, like, you're making it look like I'm probably wasting time doing that. It's too soon or something.
yeah, we have more time kind of thing. We have more time kind of thinking.
Yes. And then, so that becomes a problem a lot. And
Because I'm thinking, let the day's problem be enough for today.
honey, you know that's not the day's problem be enough issue we are talking here. You and your last minute. And that has been a problem. But somehow we've had to meet each other, not halfway.
You have to meet me all the way.
I had to meet you all the way, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to meet you all the way to get to it. So that's one of the things that's been a thorn in our flesh.
That's right, yeah. Because sometimes it just costs us money. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
there's a bill I said I was going to pay, and I didn't
Yeah.
pay. I forgot, I lost the
Track of
letter.
it.
And then by the time I realized they've added more to it, things like that. Maybe trying to get some schoolwork done or that kind of thing, wait till the last minute, and then maybe one of the children is sick, so then I have to take it to the hospital, then it affects my schoolwork and all those kind of things. And then there's a headache and I get sick.
Yeah.
But-
It's like I'm the push and you are the pause.
Pause, yeah.
Yeah.
So when
You
we are-
pause me.
yeah,
You really
when
pause
you are
me.
rushing these things. Because if you
And I push.
if you rush, you crush. Yeah.
I wish I could. Okay. And also, I think even though we are both musicians, we don't have the same
No.
same choice of songs.
Tasty music, you mean? Yeah.
Yes, tasty music. We don't have the same at all. We don't. The only good thing is because you are a professional musician, your ability to accommodate my style is very easily, whereas I can't I can't accommodate yours easily, isn't it? Yeah, because even with worship songs, if we have to select songs, we are literally singing on two different sheets. Yeah. So somebody might be thinking, oh, we wake up in the morning and you're on the keyboard and I'm on the microphone and we are singing, worshiping. No, we don't do that all the time. In fact, we don't do that most of the times because our choice of songs don't really, unless we, well, I wouldn't say unless we have project. I was going to say unless we have a project or we have something, but no, sometimes we just go out of our way just to flow in worship as well. So I think where I need grace, you're there. Where you need grace, well, that's how I see it. Yeah. We are a team.
Yeah.
That is definitely one thing about us. We work together.
That's isn't right. It? Yeah. I mean, because it's important to know who is strong in what, and you shouldn't be intimidated by what do you call traditional roles. You know, for example, I love to wash the things in the kitchen, and I hate the laundry. You know, so I like to do that instead.
But having said that, even though you hate laundry, you do it when it's necessary.
When it's necessary,
you don't just say I hate laundry, so you don't do, which is so sweet about you. Yeah,
you know. So there are things that we have to compromise on to make it work. So most of the time, I kind of like also love to have, you know, usually you like to have your space in terms of when you're talking about, you know, me being this way or something. But sometimes I also like to have my space, and sometimes you even tell me that why don't I just go out and, you know, but the beautiful thing about both of us is that sometimes
we love each other.
Yeah. Sometimes we can just be there, not doing anything, but just being together.
Just sitting together.
Yeah, our idea of a holiday is more like go to the hotel room and stay in the hotel room. We don't even mind about the sights and sounds or whatever, you know.
Yeah, just being in each other's company. It's beautiful. It's nice.
Yeah, you know, so.
I think one other differences we have is you don't care what people think about you. You just don't care. What's funny is people think I am rather the type who wouldn't care what you think about me. But you are the one who you don't care what anybody thinks about you. But I do care. I care. I am interested in you understanding that what I'm saying or what I'm doing, I'm coming from a good place. It's from a good heart. I don't mean to harm you. I don't mean to hurt you. And like, I'm passionate about you understanding what I'm saying. Whereas you're not there to prove yourself to anybody.
Yeah, because
you're that type of guy. You're not interested in proving anything to anyone.
Yeah, you know, because sometimes if you can bend over backwards and people will still not appreciate.
I know, but that's one thing that sometimes causes rifts with us as well, because I feel that somebody's phoned requesting for something and you've just said no, and I would not just say no, but I would even go to the, if I have to say no, I would even go to the extent of explaining why I'm saying no, and you're thinking, no, if it's no, it's no.
I don't have to wait and tell you no on another day. Right there, I know the answer. No. That's it. I can't.
And I think that is one thing we are very, very different. Very, very different from, you see. But it's easier because you have this kind of noble, holy look, innocent look, that even when you say no, Chesca will be blamed for your saying no. You see, even when you say, meanwhile, I'm rather the one who would say yes, and I'll be killing myself for saying yes.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's different from... We are very different in many, many ways. We could go on and on and on and on, but yeah. And...
But the lesson is that we always need to make sure that we're building each other up with one person's strength and another person's weakness will complement each other. Because you need to learn that the two is now one. The two is now one. So it's important so that she can think or see things from my perspective and I can see things from her perspective. You know, if we're dealing with different people, I can say, or if Chesca says she would say this or she
I think that's the place we've got to.
Yeah.
You kind of can give an answer on my behalf without you consulting me or without me consulting you.
Yeah.
I kind of know how you will think.
That's right.
And you know how I will think or how I'll react in a situation. Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So, but in as much as we love each other's company, sometimes it's like,
So what is it that you can't stand about me? Or that I do that?
I need to breathe. You sleep every time I'm having a chat with you. And I don't get it. I can't understand. And your excuses, my voice suits you. Come on!
Your voice suits me, so...
No!
So when you're talking, then I fall asleep.
16 years.
And I start to snore.
When I start talking to you, then you fall asleep. And you start... And like, I'm actually talking to you and you're sleeping. Like, am I that boring? And your excuse is that my voice is soothing. Well, not during the day, but like
soothing,
in the evenings especially.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that really, 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 really makes me...
Because I'm tired.
You're always tired.
I know, right?
Always tired.
I have to go to the gym.
So yeah, for me, that's one of the things. I think that's because my love language is quality time.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, again, I didn't know that. That was why that used to get to me so much that, why are you sleeping? I'm talking to you. You don't want to hear. Okay, that's it. I'm not talking anymore.
We could have a problem and I'll sleep through it.
Yeah, you can sleep. No matter the problem that's happening.
I've left it at his altar.
You love your sleep.
I love my sleep, guys.
You love your sleep so much that I get jealous of you when you're sleeping.
Yeah, but a little sleep, a little slumber.
Yes, that's what the Bible says. A little sleep, a little slumber.
A little slumber, yeah. So it's very little.
So what is it about me that makes you say,
oh my
What's
God.
your moment with me?
Oh my God. So the thing that makes me go, is you lack appetite. For those of you who don't know, that's Greek for impatience. You know, you want something, you want it done now. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing or what I plan to do, you want it done now.
You're saying it as if I'm some 2-year-old girl.
You want it done now.
Does your daughter even do that? What
she does.
So I'm your 2-year-old daughter.
She does.
What do you mean? I say it and I want it done now.
Yeah, you want it done now. It's like maybe because you don't ask what maybe I'm doing or what I'm on. Once it comes to your mind, it's like you need to get it. You need to get it out of your mind.
No, because honey, if I don't, as well, I would have to like repeat myself like 10 times. Because you will forget.
And then you repeat yourself too. You're repeating things. But anyway, those are sort of things that we've learned
makes
to
you feel.
yeah. So
what the minyabotai?
No.
Oh, that's a fruit of the spirit. So what does that mean for me? Oh, mercy, Lord.
We are still bearing the fruit, isn't it?
So here we are. I think we've gone on a bit.
Yeah.
This was just status. This was just an intro. Right. Just leading you into our lives. I think our next episode we should talk about how much we have compromised as couples. And guys, moving forward, whatever questions you have, come on, put them down.
Put them in the chat.
In the chat box. Send us
comments.
Yeah, comment, send us messages, and we will answer. Any topics you want us to deal with, let us know.
Let us know.
We have so much in store we want to share.
Yeah. All right, so thanks for joining us today. So in summary, what can one take away, from watching this after watching this? What can a married couple take away from this?
If you ask me, I would say that what attracted your spouse, what attracted your wife to you, what attracted your husband to you, is still there.
It's still there.
It's not gone anywhere. Just step back. I know sometimes in the context of marriage and all that we go through with children and our busy lives, you lose what attracted you because we end up focusing on all the things that are not good and not working. Yeah, so just so you know, they are there. A typical example was talking about the laid back, being laid back. That attracted you to me. So how was that a problem?
Yeah.
Because in the context of marriage, it's different.
Yeah.
How it presents itself. And then we get to label it differently.
That's right.
Because I don't think at the time I labeled it as being laid back.
Yeah. You thought I was chill,
I
cool,
thought you were chilled. I thought you were a cool guy. Yeah. Exactly. I thought you were a chilled, cool guy who wouldn't rush into things. But then we got married, and then there were pressures of life that demanded us making decisions like on our feet. And then your chilled nature then comes up, and then I'm labeling it, or I'm calling it being laid back. So because of the name I have put to it, then it becomes negative. Until recently, you remember we had a talk about it. Like,
you were saying that at work, there's some of the qualities.
You're laid back on it. It's who you are, but how do you move forward with it? How do you work at your pace? Because in a way, it's going to help me so much to slow down, to work
smell the roses.
Yes, to enjoy the process, which has been one of the blessings for me. So it's not all that bad. It's how you label it. That's and right. That would be my advice to somebody.
Yeah. Guys, like she said, what attracted you to your spouse is still there. Seek for it. Just take a time, pause, and you realize that the things that you love are more than the things that you hate.
Yeah.
We talk about that, we're talking about our differences and the things that we don't like and everything. But always the things that you like are more, but we usually amplify the things that we don't like, and it becomes a problem. So ask yourself, what if this thing that she's doing, she's never going to change, or he's never going to change? How are you going to live with it?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I kept saying when we got married was like, I'm in it till the end. It's not one leg out.
Oh, that's another topic.
That's another topic.
We're gonna have to talk about that.
All in. It's not like a shoe that you go and buy. Here you can go back and change it.
Try the shoes and
it doesn't fit. You go for a refund, or you go and try another shoe. So if we've got to shut ourselves in a room, if we're gonna make it work, So there's no refunds once you get into it. I know that there are times when you need to go through divorce and all that, but if you have that mentality first, a lot of things can be solved, without heading there. And not to say that, there are times when it's necessary, but whatever you set your mind to in terms of making a commitment, it's important that you stick to it, and make sure that you're building your friendship and have understanding. So, yeah.
And I think another important thing would be, whatever is working for you, as long as it's working, stick with it. Okay? Stick with it. If it's
don't look
working,
at somebody else's one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it's working, why look elsewhere? If it's working, why compare with somebody else's? Because
that's right.
In marriage, you would have different ways of living your married lives, and doing things, and then somebody can tell you how this is not acceptable in marriage. You don't do this. The man doesn't do this. The woman shouldn't be doing this. No, if it's working,
exactly,
so be it.
Yeah, because what might work for me will not be the same thing that will work for you. So,
Exactly.
I mean, there are general things that you can copy and, is good, but not everything will work for you,
And
so.
I hesitate to give advice a lot when it comes to marriage, because it's just like, the way we raise children, and we keep hammering that children are different and should be raised differently.
That's right.
But we don't realize that we have to transfer the same thing into marriage, because yes, maybe something is working for us, but the man I married is not the same man my sister married.
That's right. Yeah.
So in telling
Totally
my sister that when
different
he does this, you should do this, or you should respond this, might not work, because her man might be different from my man. So I think that is key.
That is key.
If you think
Very
what
key.
you're doing is working for you, don't let anybody, not a family member, not friends, nobody, don't let anybody. If it's working, that's the rule. If it's working, why change it? So that's us for you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
And having said all of that, I think that one other lesson for us especially is the God factor.
Yeah.
I think it's been the most important
That's right.
part. As I said earlier, your zeal for God, your heart for God, your dedication for God attracted you to me. And you've also said how my commitment with things of God also attracted. But the foundation of it was the fact that because I knew your heart was in the hands of God, I could always go to God.
That's right. You remember when you used to write that thing in your language, you commit me to prayer, and I'll see she has a strange writing, only she and her sisters understand, a special language between them. And when she writes prayer topics on our wall, I can't read, but I see. But when I saw Ken, so it means there was a prayer topic there which was on there for a long time. All other ones were answered, and so she will rub them off. Other ones stayed for a long time. Then finally it came off. So it means that something happened.
You were on the prayer radar, the prayer journal.
Yeah.
No, but guys, on a serious note, it is so important that the man's heart is in the hands of God. It's so crucial. Because marriage is God's idea.
It's God's idea.
So when you find
beautiful.
the person in God, when the person is in God, there would be bats, loads of bats. There will be loads of brokenness. Look, you haven't heard a quarter of our story.
Yeah.
But the core of it is we fall back to God. We go back to the drawing board. We go back to the blueprint. We go back to the one who owns this.
That's right.
And go like, where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? And we're talking about somebody in God. We're not just talking about somebody who goes to church. We're kind of like, we always...
That's a topic you need to weigh.
We'll talk about. So, you need to understand that both of you need to really eat, breathe, and drink the presence and the Word of God, So, that's a core of... It's key, to making things work. Because, like she said, marriage is God's idea. So if there's some things we don't understand, we go back to God. What are you saying about this?
Yeah.
All right. So the woman that you gave me, I don't understand her. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, thank you so much for joining us on this first episode of KC Talks. All right, where we shed a little bit of the nuts and the bolts of our marriage. Okay, so thank you. Make sure you subscribe. Click the notification bell so that whenever we have a video up, you'll be notified. And also like and share. All right. Yeah, but subscribe, okay?
But
if you don't want to subscribe.
There is a better reason they need to subscribe.
Why is that?
The reason why you need to subscribe. There are 3 reasons why you need to subscribe. The first reason is you must subscribe.
You must subscribe. Okay.
And the second reason is you need to subscribe.
You need to subscribe. Okay, you must, you need.
And the third reason is we need you to subscribe.
We need you to subscribe. And the
So
fourth,
please-
you got to subscribe.
And the fourth is you've got to subscribe.
Okay.
So by all means, subscribe.
It's been a blessing spending time with you and sharing a bit of our lives with you. So take
Subscribe.
time, to subscribe and share. All right.
Love you.
Love you. See you again.